A new law is clearing the way for life-saving devices to be installed across the state.
We are talking about these baby boxes. And thanks to a new safe haven law, mothers will be able to surrender their child safely and anonymously. It all comes after a tragedy in Whitewater earlier this year.
Ben Jordan going in depth tonight, explaining where they will be installed and the challenges some communities may face in getting one.
A headstone surrounded by flowers is a community-funded memorial in Whitewater.
It hits you how profoundly sad the whole situation is.
For a baby who was found dead 8 months ago in a cardboard box.
I can tell you what I was doing at the time.
It's a day Whitewater Police Chief Meyer will never forget.
We don't see this type of stuff typically happening.
For State Representative Ellen Schutt, the tragedy exposed a need to update state law.
We looked at our current safe haven law, which allows you to give up your child, but it has to be face-to-face at a law enforcement building or a fire station or a hospital. The incident that occurred in my district, she didn't want people to know.
Representative Schutt heard from towns and cities in her district that wanted to try to prevent it from happening in the future by installing what's called safe haven baby boxes until they learned the devices were illegal in Wisconsin.
We just thought this was the best option to do, to just make an update so people have an opportunity to save their baby's life if they're in distress.
Representative Schutt wrote legislation to legalize the devices that are already used in 14 other states, including neighboring Iowa. They allow parents to anonymously drop off unwanted infants up to 3 days old in a temperature-controlled setting that triggers an alarm to alert staff that a baby is inside. Her bill received unanimous support in the state legislature, but Chief Meyer says towns and cities like Whitewater face a different hurdle now: the cost.
I think in any community our size, that's a barrier, no doubt.
These baby boxes can cost 15 grand or more. Is that something that you thought of when you drafted this legislation?
Yes. So I know in my community that reached out, they are actually fundraising to install the baby box in Elkhorn, and they're very close to reaching their goal. And I know as I've talked to other communities, they are looking to fundraise, whether it's at the law enforcement building or at a hospital.
Ultimately, Representative Schutt believes communities will make funding or fundraising a priority, knowing it could save the lives of vulnerable infants.
Out of this tragedy, does this new law give that baby a legacy?
It really does. It's really remarkable, I think. We may not even know how many people this might help, because people who are already using the safe haven law, we're giving it away to a person. And now that there's this option to do it anonymously, we may see even more babies' lives being saved.
According to the Department of Children and Families, Wisconsin has seen an increase in the amount of babies relinquished through the safe haven law. 27 this year after 29 last year. That's up from 15 a year going back the past decade. Reporting in Whitewater, Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News.
All right, Ben, thanks. So here's how it works. When a baby is surrendered, they will be checked out by a local hospital before being turned over to the Department of Child Services. DCS then starts the adoption process from there.
So according to the organization Safe Haven Baby Boxes Incorporated, there's nearly 200 baby boxes nationwide. More than 100 are located in Indiana, which enacted its Safe Haven law in 2016. Just last week, a baby was placed in a baby box at a fire department in Beech Grove, Indiana. The child is the 7th to be surrendered in Indiana this year.